Let's return to the coalition split. You heard from Kevin Hogan a little earlier about things from the Nationals' perspective, but of course what all of this hangs on, whether the coalition gets back together, is the policy decisions of the Liberal Party. Do they come to the table or do they decide they want to go it alone? I mean, I don't know why they'd want to, but you read today that Susan Lee is prepared to do so. So I don't know what she knows that I don't know, but someone who I think has given the most clear-eyed analysis of where the campaign went wrong, and part of what needs to happen in the future, is the LNP's Garth Hamilton. I've been praising his column in The Australian on Monday all week, and he joins me now. Garth, thank you for joining me. I mean, what was your initial reaction to the news that the coalition was breaking up for the first time in nearly 40 years?
Look, I won't pretend I wasn't frustrated and a little bit saddened. We've got a great story to tell in the coalition. Over the last 100 years, the Australian people have turned to a centre-right coalition for 65 of those years. We are the choice that Australia regularly makes when we're going through hard times. We should be really proud of that. And look, I guess what really hurts the most is that right now we've got a Labor government that went into the election raising the prospect of a recession coming, that just released a budget that had 10 years of deficits banked in. And yet they took almost no mandate to the last election. And we're letting those guys get away. Every day we're talking about the coalition agreement. We're letting these guys get away without being held to account, which is our job as opposition. So we need to get back to doing our job really quickly. Best way to do that is in a coalition.
Well, the Nats policy demands nuclear energy, forced divestiture of supermarkets, the Regional Future Fund, the service obligations for mobile phone coverage in the regions. Is there any reason the Liberal Party could not have just said up front, look, we'll do it, to keep the coalition together? I know Lee has said that everything is up for grabs, but could you not have just hit that one on the head?
Look, I think this is a bit of kabuki theatre from the Nats. They know very well that we would have been open to a discussion on all of those issues. They have no reason to think that we wouldn't. Kevin Hogan's a very good man, but look, I think there's a decision that the Nats made long ago. They weren't looking for peaceful resolution of that. That's my belief. I think they need to stand to account for that. I think they need to have a good hard look at themselves and really commit to coming back to being part of this coalition. It's important to Australia that we do. This isn't about parties. This is about the Australian people and how we serve them as their representatives in Parliament.
So you now need to have this fight over policies, and that will decide whether or not the Nats want to come back to you. And of course, you wrote on Monday about part of the direction you think the party should take. You particularly said that you've lost confidence in net zero and you've lost confidence in, blank chequebook politics, essentially, which is what net zero has been. Are you confident that the party will change its tune on this matter?
What I want the party to do is to focus on making this a question of the economy. I think we've allowed questions like net zero to become moral questions and to feel that either you're all in or you're all out. You're good, you're bad. And that's a terrible way for us to be addressing policy, particularly when we're the people who are the strong economic managers who look after Australia in those hard times. Net zero should be an economic question. We'd be setting a price tag on it, making assessment from that point of view. That's where we offer something to the Australian people. And I think if we have the view, once again, of going back to the economy, of having smaller government, of lower tax, of putting family at the heart of the state, this is where our heartbeat is. This is what's important to us. This is why people have chosen a centre-right coalition in the past. We just have to head in that direction again, and that's where we'll find home.